For the record, I've been a little bit busy since this whole thing started up, so I'm going to be half reading some notes I took. I am going to be like improvising a little as well. The article I took that's of interest to me, and I'm linking it in the chat right now because I have the admin powers for it, the mod powers. It's about a woman who went to a Trump rally wearing a hijab. And you could tell right there it's going to be a little dangerous. But actually, the whole purpose of the article is that they're not as rabid or ravenous as we might caricaturize them. She said when she was in line waiting to get in, the worst what she got was some stares and double takes, and one vendor walked close to her and yelled that he was selling "Bomb the Hell Out of ISIS" T-shirts. So a little bit of hostility, but no one like attacked her or tried to kick her out. She actually made it through the whole thing. I'm going to be reading two little segments from this, and I'm going to make my point. She writes about Trump. This is like what she took away from it. Quote, "To Trump and his supporters, Asian countries have dumped their goods in America and almost bankrupted our country by causing our trade deficit. Mexico won't keep illegals, who are the source of Americans' drugs, on their side of the border. And of course, Muslims have always been fighting us and come from countries populated by ingrates who are unwilling to pay for the wars that we started on their behalf. But solving our trade deficit isn't as simple as ending the supply of cheap Asian goods that Americans so happily consume. Mexico is not going to pay us to build us a wall. The rest of the world will not stand by and let the U.S. seize Iraq's oil fields and thus control a significant supply of the world's oil. Trump supporters, though, love him for his outrageous suggestions. It provides them with a sense of empowerment and control. And his lack of specificity allows for each person to hear what they want to hear." End quote for now. So the entire thing to say is that obviously on our current social strata, like the way that we talk as normal people, they sound crazy, they sound deluded, but they're still people. She makes the point that there's a reason, she's rationalizing why some people would fall for stuff like that. And I understand the message, but this is where I disagree with her and I make my point. She says, "People like me keep thinking and hoping that Trump supporters will all go away eventually. We cannot continue to believe that they represent a fringe group of people and that their candidates can never be elected to a major role of government. We need to see them and listen to them and disagree respectfully. We need to, as Americans, begin talking to and not at one another." Wow. And that's where it falls apart for me. Because the issue I have is this article, the point that she makes, I understand she's trying to reach an olive branch out, but it excuses the small-mindedness that Trump supporters those supporters and the leaders who deliberately take advantage of it. Like, it excuses that small-mindedness. Having a slogan or a scapegoat won't make our problems go away. This is me talking. I know it looks like I'm reading because I took notes. A crazy thing to have someone to bomb or someone to dehumanize shouldn't excuse the public from being educated. And why this bothers me so much is that it's hypocritical. In the same way that conservatives, libertarians, Republicans, or nationalists have seek a work hard story, a bootstrap story. You started from the bottom, etc. And that's what validates you. And so when they hear about welfare queens, when they hear about immigrants and poor people and all that stuff, they happily shut the crap on them. But we can't let them get away with that in terms of education. We can't let them get away with that in terms of foreign policy and thinking that the rest of the world is so easy that we can just find someone to blame or find someone to imprison or find someone to kick out. It doesn't work that way. We can't excuse them from nuance, because that's what they're doing right now. They are taking the easy way out. They're letting politicians like Trump give them an easy answer, and all they need to do is show support or give money. They don't have to think, and that's what's so toxic to me about this whole Trump thing. And that's why, as a whole, I can't agree with this article, because if we need to start talking to them like humans, they got to start acting like humans, because they're being tribal primates. They're just looking for someone to attack. And that, as a society, that's not how it works. All right.
All
right.
right.
Can I
PJ,
jump in here for a second on the Trump thing?
come on, Bam.
Everyone
Come on.
wants to talk.
All right. I'm sorry for
I
taking
just
so
want to
much.
say, and I'm with you, but I just want to point out the fact that these people existed before Trump showed up. Trump is an opportunist.
True. Yeah.
And these people they've always been there. They've always been out there. Now they just have a leader to get behind. And he's just filling a niche that was sitting there just almost ravenously waiting for something that they could glom onto to push their ideas. So I really think we get into this habit of thinking that these are Trump's supporters, that, that like Trump is the one that caused this, as opposed to Trump responding to these people and jumping in there where he knew he had an opportunity. I mean, I very well could see Trump jumping in there, getting his 4 years of presidency in, making laws that makes it very easy for him to make an easy buck, and he's out of there. But we're still going to have this mass of people who think that the same way that they do now. They didn't just start this with Trump. He didn't do this. And I think we need to stay clear on that.
To quickly respond, I do agree with you. I was using Trump mainly because that's what the article focused on. That was her experience, and it's our experience that the Trump supporters are the ones being the most physically violent. But what I'm saying is, as a whole, these kinds of people who are so easily led, we should open a dialogue with them, but we can't let them control the conversation that to demonize other people, to have like an easy excuse that it's China, that it's Muslims, that it's Mexicans. We have to be strong. We have to be firm with them. We can't let them just act like animals in a conversational sense.
And I think I was just responding to the easily led part, because I don't feel like they're being led. I think they are doing the leading. And that was my only point. But sorry.
Let me throw a question out there to you, PJ. If this is where we're going, if the whole idea is that we're gonna be tough, how do we do that and still be caring and respectful, or is the two things not mutually? It doesn't matter.
I'm sure you. Go ahead,
please.
Sorry.
Oh, please.
No, I was just gonna say, you can still educate people without being a jerk about it. It's just that, as me and a couple of other people have pointed out, whenever there's an issue and then a Republican leader, like people running for the GOP candidacy, they throw out an easy scapegoat almost all the time. Random example that comes to mind being the Planned Parenthood shooter, and Ted Cruz almost immediately saying it was some transgender liberal who shot up Planned Parenthood. And that was completely wrong. But that's the thing.
It wasn't me, I swear to God.
But that's the thing. Well, you're in New York. You're not in California or wherever.
Hold on. Remember, Will could be anywhere.
I got it. You said it's 601. But no. Getting serious. It's that more often than not, it's diversionary. It's anytime a Republican or an extreme right wing gets challenged, they tend to go to diversionary distraction tactics. Well, what about X, Y, or Z? Don't focus on this. And that's at like the heart of the issue, is that they are excused from letting their own views be challenged. They're excused. That's what they do. Like that's like their MO in terms of arguing. Like, well, my problem might be bad to you, but look at this other thing that we should both agree is worse. And I don't know how. I don't run like a debate class, but we have to.
Actually, I think they call those things pivots, PJ, and that's what you do when people bring up stuff that you don't want to talk about. You pivot so you don't talk about the thing that you're weak at. And so what's happening here in this political structure right now, this is the norm, and this is what I think is creating the opportunity for a person like Bernie who won't go negative, who struggles for not being so nice. I almost wanted Bernie to quit. Would you quit hugging Hillary and letting her off the hook? Let her find her own hook to get off.
There's plenty of places where you see, CNN or something try to have him go at Hillary, and ask him, personal questions about her, and he won't do it. He just says, I'm not going there. I'm keeping it factual. I'm keeping it where it has to be, where people care. This isn't reality TV.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think that what we have here is that we have a serious issue here in this country where we are becoming nativists. We are becoming nationalists, and it's because people are hurting right now. And when people hurt, they look for something. And I'm going to accept your answer, PJ. They look for an easy solution, not a difficult one. So I think you're onto something right there. I don't know, how do we have the dialogue. I believe some of it you have to do what Will said. You have to use numbers and you have to use logic. But I'm always of the meaning that I believe you move a lot of it with the heart. Will, you want to say something? Come on in.
Crush them, and leave nothing left.
His name is not Will. His name is in the name of the show. But we will have to put him in time out right now. All right. Well done, PJ. Thanks for sharing your article. All right, Solomon, we're going to go with you, and we're going to let Will bring up the rear because he said.